Got a cool review today, and I got Analogue's latest and greatest, the Analogue Duo that plays TurboGrafx 16, Hue cards, and CDs. I have a wide variety of games I'm going to throw at it, including many homebrews. And so I had a lot of fun with this video. Sit back, relax. Here we go. All right, so here is the unboxing of the Analogue Duo. I think this is a fantastic hardware design. I can't wait to show you. Really excited. I purchased this on the day of release, and as you can see here, it is very reminiscent of the Turbo Duo design, and they borrow from that, and I think it looks awesome. And so can't wait to share some of the cool features that are included with this device. And it's about 20% smaller than a Turbo Duo. It comes with a rubber footing, so it's non-slip. If you put it on a table or whatnot, it's not going to slide around. Now the Hue card and CD inputs in the front, super snug. They're super snug on your Hue card and super snug on your discs. That might make some people uncomfortable. Didn't bother me. Single input controller on the left hand side. I think that's an interesting option for hardware, not in the front. And so I don't know what I think of that. Some audio inputs as well. And on the back here, USB controller inputs, as well as HDMI and an SD card slot. That's going to be important moving forward. So anyways, here's what it comes with. It comes with a power brick. Thank you so much, Analogue, most appreciated, as well as a USB-C cable used for power, as well as an HDMI cable. No controller input, so it's really important that you know that it does not come with a controller, but it works with a variety of modern controllers, Bluetooth input as well, and even Analogue recommends some, and I'm going to talk about that in a bit. Here is the comparison to the original Turbo Duo release. So as you can see here, the waved design pattern is now on the back of the Analogue Duo, but looks absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorite looking analog FPGAs, which is field programmable gate array. So you want to update it, you want to grab an SD card, not included. You go to Analogue's site and you go to the support and you download the firmware to an SD card connected to your computer. Then you take that SD card, you insert it into your Duo in the back, and you turn on your Duo and it'll update. The tutorial for this, it talks about the features that are included. SD card is for save states, which are Hue card only at this moment. Memories, you can do screenshots of games, pretty awesome, and you can access these using an original controller. Really important that it does that. It's really important that you can use an original controller to activate all these options. Display modes, there's 4 main display modes. There's like a Sony Trinitron mode, Turbo Express. I'm just going to use the nice sharp HD input, as I think it looks the best. So here's the different options when you go into the settings, and there's even a region option. Auto detect for me worked fine, and all the games that I showed today, it was on auto detect, no problem. And so I'm showing a multitude of different things. I want to talk about the controller they recommend. It's not available. It is 8-bit DOE TurboGrafx 16. It's the same one that came with the TurboGrafx 16 Mini, and it's out of stock, but you can use other 8-bit DOE controllers, Retrobit, modern controllers. I'm going to be mostly using a Turbo Duo original controller, and you don't need these. These are old system cards, and Turbo Duo deletes all those. It doesn't have to use them. Imports are very important, and here is a Super Graphics game, and so this wasn't even compatible with the original Duo. It was a separate system, and yes, the Duo can play these. The Analogue's Duo can play the 5 games that were exclusive to the Super Graphics. This is the only one I have. Here is Fatal Fury 2. This is an arcade CD release, which took its own system card, which you do not need with the Duo. So this is a game I've had in my collection a long time. I haven't been able to play it. So it's nice to finally be able to play this version, and what a fantastic port. Speaking of fantastic ports, one of the best, I think, is Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition for the PC Engine, and plays great. And it is kind of a thicker hue card, and it fits fine in the Duo. I wanted to test this. It does benefit from a 6-button controller. Here's Altered Beast, and again, some of these games may not necessarily appear in the database when you fire up your Duo, but they play fine. So I just had it on auto detect on region, and when you went into the games, that's what matters. Double Dragon 2, love this version. You know, pretty expensive game if I remember correctly now, original release, but we're going to talk about some other alternative options if you want to play it, because the Duo can play backups, and so that's really awesome that it can play backups for people that want to go that route. But this is a killer port, and it's unique in its own way, and so love playing these imports, as I know a lot of people collect these days. So let's test some TurboGrafx 16 releases, and you know, I have the complete North American hue card set. Here's Dragon's Curse, and these play great. And you know what, I was testing each and individual game, and they did fire up. Most of them are in the database, a few aren't. Devil's Crush, one of my favorite video game pinball games, and absolutely love this release. Just a killer soundtrack as well, tons of hidden secrets and stuff. Wow, if you want to check out a great TurboGrafx 16 release, look no further than Devil's Crush. You know, Keith Courage and Alpha Zones, the OG original pack-in with the TurboGrafx 16 here in the States. You know, not the best game, but you know what? When it's a pack-in, you play it. And you know what? Legendary Axe 2, one of my favorite releases. I have a very near and dear connection to this game. I spoke on My Life in Gaming about it, and you know what? Just a cool release. You know, I think Legendary Axe both 1 and 2 are great. The sequel's so different. And then Magical Chase. So it's playing all the US releases that I thrown at it, no problem. Just a great shooter here, by the way. Super hard to get on HuCard in the North American release. Well, I wanted to test both regular CD and Super CD releases US. Fighting Street, which is actually the first Street Fighter. Just a pretty terrible game, but you know, it's nice to see that it works here on the Analogue Duo. And you might be curious what the first Street Fighter played like. Then the Cotton release, just an amazing side-scrolling shooter, super hard to get US release, and here it is running flawlessly. So so far, 100% of the things that I threw at it with the firmware update seem to be playing fine. Bonk 3, this is a US release. This is the CD version. There is a HuCard version as well, and the CD one looked and sounded awesome. For people talking about lag, that's something I necessarily don't test, and I know that it's individual depending on your monitor. So you know, for me, I didn't notice much at all lag wise. I'm not the lag tester, but yes, these games are playing flawlessly. Now there's actually a ton of Homebrew and Aftermarket games for the TurboGrafx 16, and I'm going to share my small but pretty decent collection. Strife Sisters being the newest release, and I met the developer at Southwest Gaming Exchange. And anyways, so here's the game, and there's more information on their website. The link will be below. But you know, it kind of plays like a Fire Emblem style game, lots of strategy, and a very cool look to it. Well-rounded Homebrew and Aftermarket game. Rondo Blood, this is actually a copy, a professional copy done with artwork and everything, but it runs, and so it's important to note that you can play backups on this, and that's really important for people that don't want to use the original release just in case something happens. You can play backups. Very awesome. So people that want to go that route and play backup copies of the rare games, that's an option as well. This is kind of cool. This was done long ago, and it's kind of a Turbo Duo like emulator where it's taking HuCard games all on like a CD copy, and it's pretty awesome. And so there's 75 games here, and it works. So I mean, really, whatever game I had in my collection, I was able to get to play on the Duo. Now, I didn't test everything, but I tested a wide multitude of things, and I had no problems. And I don't know if that's, I know some other people reported just a few not appearing in the library database. I can attest to that not everything is going to be auto-detected, but when you press run and play these, whether HuCards or CD games, it works. Atlantean, the very first Homebrew game on HuCard, this was released years ago. It works, and so I've had this in my collection. Pretty awesome little Defender, underwater-like Defender clone. So pretty sweet. I like seeing this type of release. And you know what? Insanity, same company. This is kind of a fairly homebrew knockoff. You know, for a while it wasn't loading immediately, but yeah, then it fired up, no problem. And so pretty awesome to see that. This was a CD release, by the way, but it works. And so it was really awesome to see all the homebrew and aftermarket games work. And so that's important, because I think for this to work, it needs to work with nearly everything. Here's FX Unit Yuki, probably saying that wrong, but just wanted to show it. Great soundtrack, killer soundtrack. And you know what? These are just awesome to see on here. Mysterious Song, another game I backed on, I think, Kickstarter back in the day. Took forever to come out, but it did come out. Plays great on here. So all these homebrew and aftermarket games working. Oh my goodness, this is so great to see, as I think it really adds the impact that this console can have. Implode, this is another early release for homebrew and aftermarket games. And so, you know, there's several other releases as well, but I really wanted to just test a multitude of what I had in my collection. And just, it's awesome to see such a wide release of games. Cleopatra's Curse, I got this, I do believe, at Portland Retro Gaming Expo last year. You know, and like many homebrew and aftermarket releases, these are made in very limited copies. So I was just thankful to get one on physical, as I don't know how many copies were made, but not many. Definitely not in the thousands for sure. So what do you think of these in the comments below? Let me know. So what did you think? You can still pre-order this, and I think it ships in February for like the second batch. You know what? Overall, I was pretty impressed with the amount of different games and backups it played, even all the homebrews. That was impressive. And it's just going to get better with firmware upgrades. It even plays the new Strife Sisters, which is an amazing homebrew. You can go to the website. The link is below to this. You can pick this up and play it on your Duo, and it looks fantastic. Anyways, thank you so much. What did you think? I think this is very niche, and it's not going to be for everybody. For many people, you're just going to emulate your TurboGrafx 16 games, but if you have any original software and even original hardware or controllers, it works great on this. It's not perfect. There's a couple things, design issues I would have changed, but overall, pretty good, pretty solid. A solid 8 out of 10 for me. I think it is a great product. And if you're a TurboGrafx 16 fan, I definitely think this is the way to go. It's that mix of new hardware where you can play original software. Anyways, thumbs up for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell, as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is Immortal John Hancock, and you take care.